Okay, so this is a really quick video to show you how to answer questions that come in from the community Q&A apps that are deployed on your website. So most of the colleges, they use the app type that's called community Q&A. So I'll use the Pubble website to show you how to answer questions that come in, as I said, from a community Q&A app type. So this is the community Q&A webpage, and here we have the community Q&A app demo app deployed on there. So what I'm going to do here is just ask a question in the same way as a public visitor to one of your course pages would ask a question. So I'll just ask, where is Pubble based? And I'll click on post. You can see there I'm already signed into the page, so that's why I didn't have to provide any contact details there for that. Just incidentally, I would really encourage you guys to add FAQs to the system. If you do, it will reduce the amount of repetitive questions that you have to answer hugely. You could probably see around 40 to 50% reduction in the questions that you actually have to answer if you do add FAQs. Just note the question that I asked there, where is Pubble based? We have an FAQ for that question. So you can see there that the bot actually prompted back in the FAQs, and where is Pubble based is in there. And I can actually say that I can say this answers my question, and that will actually mark that question as answered in the back end. Okay. So that's how somebody asks a question. Let me quickly show you how you go about answering it. So I'm going to jump into the Pubble dashboard. Now the URL for your dashboard will be, every community has got its own URL. So whatever your community is, it will be your community name.pubble.io to access the dashboard. There's Windows and Mac apps available. So I'm a Mac user, so I'm using the Mac app. If you're on Windows, you can choose to use the Windows app. So in my dashboard might look a little bit different to yours because I'm subscribed to a lot. If you're a moderator of a community Q&A app, the question will appear in community Q&A. If you're not, it will appear in my questions. So any questions that are assigned to you will appear in my questions. So if I click into that, you can see here the question that I asked on the public website was, where is Pubble based? If I click into it, you can see that the bot had prompted in these particular FAQs. But if I wanted to actually answer this question, I would just click into the input box at the bottom. I just click on send, or I hit the enter key. And that will actually push that answer back into the public page. So you can see here, this is where I typed my answer, got pushed back into the page. If I toggle back in, you can respond with anything. If I wanted to create a screenshot and drag it in, I can do that. Say if I took a screenshot of what I'm looking at right now, I can just drag and drop it into the chat, and that will get pushed into the public stream. Basically, if you wanted to share a PDF or any kind of files like that, you can drop them in there, and it will get pushed back into the stream. Just to show you how that looks for the client, you can see here that it gets pushed in like that. Okay, one of the big productivity gains that you will get from using Pubble is one, more efficient internal communication. So if you had to assign this question to somebody else, supposing that's an international student asked the question on your page, and you really needed the international team to actually answer the question, all you would have to do is click on the assign option and type the person, your colleagues or the department's name. So if I wanted our biz team to look at this question, I would click on biz and assign it to them. If I wanted to assign this to, say, my colleague Shane, just type Shane's name, click on him, and Shane will get notified that he's been assigned to the question. So the internal kind of comms piece is a big thing that Pubble is really focused on, and how we basically make the kind of communication around customer care much more efficient is something that we really kind of we've really built into the product. But just to get back to the FAQs really quickly, I would encourage you to add as many FAQs as you can for the course pages that you're managing. So if I wanted to create an FAQ, there's two ways that I could do it. One, I could click into the FAQ section over here, but an actual easier way to do it, and if you could get into the habit of doing it as you're answering questions, it will really improve things for you. So this is the question that came in from the public person. So if I wanted to create an FAQ out of that, I would just click on the little cog icon that appears, click on FAQ, and then if I said, okay, this was my answer here, if I wanted that to be the answer, I would just click on the answer, click on the cog, and mark that over as the FAQ. I can then tag that. If I typed out where location, city, whatever, you don't need to there's no need to use any keywords that are already in the question. And then the other thing that you need to choose is whether this is a community level Q&A, so it could be prompted anywhere across the website, or if it's a page level Q&A, so that it would only ever get prompted on that particular page. So if it's page level, it would only get prompted on your particular course, or the question or the page that the question came in from. If I toggle it to community Q&A, it could be prompted anywhere on the website. So I leave it as page level, and then I would click publish. We already have that FAQ there, so I don't need to do that. Okay, one other thing on the FAQs. So what's a typical use case would be that as somebody asks the question, so they might start off asking, what were the points of this course in 2017, and then as they kind of go back and forth, and then they might ask, a couple of follow-up questions. Every time that this little bulb down here that lights up, we call this the smart prompt. And the smart prompt, what's happening in the back end is that the bot is querying FAQs that you've defined for this particular page. So every time that the bot thinks that it can help you answer the question, the bulb will light up. If you click on that, you can push any of the questions that are in here through to the person. So if I want to push this through to the person, I just click on that and hit send. That gets pushed through into the public thread. Or what I can also do, even if the light isn't on, I can click on it and I can search the FAQs that are there. So if I just wanted to search for pricing, I just click on that, how much does the service cost, and I can push that through into the person. Okay, so just to recap, the sections that you really need to keep an eye on is My Questions. My Questions is where anything that's been assigned to you or that you've worked on will appear. Then this bar at the top here, so when questions come in and they're untouched, they are classified as new. Even if you've been assigned to it, that doesn't change it from being new. Basically, you have to reply in a question for it to move from new to in progress. And replying to a question will automatically move it from new to in progress. As you kind of go back and forth, then the questions, if you're waiting for the student to reply, or if you've replied, basically waiting for moderator is waiting for you, the moderator that's answering the question. Waiting for visitor is waiting for the person who asked the question. They might need to come back, they might not need to come back. And then when you're done with a question, so there's no more back and forth, you can basically just close it out, and what that helps you to do is just keep your in progress questions down so that it's easier for you to keep on top of questions. There's other more kind of advanced features that you can also leverage on Pubble, like you can tag questions. So if I wanted to tag this particular question here, or I wanted to add a private note about the question, or add a reminder to follow up with this person, I can do that. But again, you can play around with those later. They're not kind of like essential to just the simple function of just replying to questions. Okay, I hope that's been helpful. If you need any help in using Pubble, I would encourage you to use the help option down on the bottom left-hand corner. So you just click on that and contact Pubble. And if you do, that will open up a conversation with the support team here in Pubble. Thanks for watching.